And we are live. Good morning. It's Small Biz David, and welcome to our broadcast today. Somewhat of a special broadcast because I'm going to focus on uh, two things that have been brought to my attention by the Kauffman Foundation. And I talk about them a lot. And one was a study that they did. How has COVID-19 changed challenges for entrepreneurs, implications for entrepreneurship support? Um, well, we've been talking about that for a long time, and we started talking about that. Excuse me, in April 25th. Kauffman Foundation sent out an email, and they were talking about the new American business plan, and with the concept being that the politicians in Washington were not going to get small business back going again. Uh, we've seen all the mess there. They made that pretty clear, but it was going to be entrepreneurs who um, saw the opportunities, willing to take the risks. I don't know about the risk part. Well, uh, funding and they were going to get as much knowledge as they could to get America going again with small business. And small business provides in the 90s, I think, of total dollars contributed to the economy. So it is important, and we need 40 million businesses, small businesses started right now. So uh, in November, actually, the Kauffman Foundation did this study. I did not see it until a couple weeks ago, and uh, obviously something of great importance. The other thing we're going to talk about is a program of the Kauffman Foundation that I observed yesterday called 1 Million Cups. And it was a pretty interesting experience. And I applied for an application to get 1 Million Cups, their program, into Cincinnati. Cincinnati, there's 150 markets that have 1 million cup groups, local groups. Cincinnati was not one of them, so I put an application in. Okay, so the report, uh, actually, it was the last page of the report. We won't have time to go through all the things I want to talk about today. But we'll spend time and we'll hit it all. One thing that really caught my attention, and it wasn't until the very 13th page, close to the last page of the study, was a definition of the word entrepreneur. And other than the pledge that I've taken from the Kauffman Foundation about the entrepreneur pledge, I don't know that ever, well, I definitely haven't seen them with this definition, so that caught my eye. Entrepreneurs were in this study, how has COVID-19 changed challenges? Entrepreneurs were identified as individuals who had either opened or co-opened their own businesses. And that study, oh boy, I think it was done done in April and published in November. I hope I'm telling you right about when they were collecting their data. And then you go on to the title page, if you will, and a bunch of things caught my attention on the title page. First of all, keywords, and we're all about keywords. That's what you have to have an understanding of, as many of the small business keywords as you possibly can, and that's what it's all about. It's understanding the concepts. but they had a relatively short list of keywords, and I wanted to add some. I have to ask the folks there if I can add some. Well, I know they'll let me add this one because it's their words. The New American Business Plan, that's certainly a keyword. My own words that I've added are collaboration, uh, solopreneurs, and creative marketing and sales. Those are three key words that I had. And actually, if you want to get, we've been doing videos since the first week in May. If you go to smallbizdavid.com, smallbizdavid.com, you will see it really does a great job of putting all this information together that we are doing. And I call that actually our digital library, archives. We want to have as many episodes in there as possible because it's information for small business and entrepreneurship, and that's what we're all about. So, okay, now we're on page 3, including the title page, and the things that caught my eye on that page. I do want to read the executive summary because it's important to have an understanding of the executive summary because that's what the research is all about. The information is all about. COVID-19 has brought widespread changes to the lives and livelihoods of entrepreneurs across the United States. Yes. The compounded pressures related to public health, the economy, and the policy environment under COVID-19 have created a great deal of both personal and business uncertainty, to say the least, and fundamentally disrupted the entrepreneurial economy. No question about it. I mean, 40 million businesses were said you're not essential, you must close your doors. They started saying that in February. So for the better part of 2020, there were no businesses. There were essential businesses, now it's vacillating back and forth, and we have a lot of work to do. And yes, there is a New American Business Plan. And ask any restaurant owner that you know, is he dealing with, or she dealing with a New American Business Plan? They might throw you out the door. No, they'll welcome you in if they haven't filled up 50%, unless you're in New York City. And if you're in New York City, you can't go into a restaurant right now. But New York City got hit with a couple feet of snow last night, so there are not a lot of folks going a lot of places. Okay. Did I want to read any more? Worldwide crisis. Well, yes, it's a worldwide crisis, but we got to take care of business at home. Entrepreneurs are facing a threat to their health and that of their families, employees, and customers, as well as economic recession and a new, more complicated policy and regulatory environment. If that isn't pleasant thinking, oh my Lord. Although my friend Larry at the Kauffman Foundation told me there's going to be some new policy statements coming out. I think he told me in January, and I'm really looking forward to. Man, that's a pretty dismal. I'll tell you. Let me digress for a moment. I'm being very sarcastic. I, in the last 10 years, have done virtually nothing offline. Everything I've been doing in the business world has been online, and business online. It's the way we have been doing it. And what's happening right now with COVID-19 is that online is becoming even more important. good or bad. It's becoming more important. Our children are struggling to learn online. I guess I well, I've got two granddaughters that are learning online, and I'm asking them how they're dealing with it, how they like it, and they're doing okay with it. So uh, the new American business plan has to have a grasp of online somehow, and we've created I created a solution for that too. You'll hear about, oh, that is, by the way, our broadcast today is being made possible by the generator. And the generator is the thank you for 19 minutes of your time postcard campaign that we are, it's going to be big in 2021. And just going back to basics, this particular postcard I designed, the concept, the copy has changed obviously, but I used the same kind of concept in 1978 when I was introducing a new magazine to the publishing world, to publish to Canton, Ohio, Stark County, Ohio. It was called Now in Stark County Magazine, and I used this campaign to generate interest among folks about the magazine, future advertiser, everybody, the future reader, advertiser. Oh, I use the A word, and I'm going to talk. That's interesting because I'm going to talk about that. The last thing I say about this report, remind me to tell you not to use the word advertiser. But here I was thinking in 1978 terms. Yes, advertisers existed, advertising existed in 1978, but now we absolutely have to make a part of our thinking branding and brand development. It's essential that you have an understanding of that, and you make it a part. It's your marketing. It's your marketing that translates into sales. Another thing, marketing and sales must be considered together and not separate disciplines, because they rely upon each other. They work with each other, so they have to be dealt with each other. Too many folks, marketing's here and sales are here. They need to be together, because the thinking that you do, the decisions that you make, it's an integrated concept, and that is part of our new world creative marketing and sales, is folks understanding that concept. But okay, so I pretty much covered the executive summary. Highlights of this report include they had three highlights, and of course I wanted the abbreviated version if I could get it. Finding customers was the number one highlight, and obviously that caught my eye because I've been finding customers for over 50 years now. And number two was kind of interesting. It was self-doubt and fear. That was a concern, a highlight of the study. How did folks deal with self-doubt and fear? Well, if you have any self-doubt and fear problems, text me at 513-696-6249, and we'll do a little triage to see it. But you can't be fearful, and you can't have self-doubt if you're going to be in business, in small business. You can think about it, but if you're actually going to do it with an action plan, generating revenue, as Kaufman said, money in your business, that defines an entrepreneur. But you need to eliminate that. Now, you need to eliminate as much self-doubt and fear as you possibly can. I guess I have to read a little bit deeper. That fear might be fear of failure. And um, I contend that there should be never a fear of failure. Uh, you might not have reached the goals and objectives that you wanted to, but you tried. We don't know. There's a whole lot of things that have to go on in the marketing and sales of the world. We have to understand folks. We have to understand their behavior. Why do people do the things they do? And those are things that are absolutely needed in the new world uh, business plan, new American business plan, new world marketing. The third highlight was something I absolutely can only make a very brief comment on because I've only had 1 year of experience of finding skilled employees. I really can't comment on that because, as I said, I've only really sought employees one time in my life. Back in '78, when we had the magazine, we had 15 folks, and I didn't worry about how skilled they were. I was more concerned with their desires and their wanting to move forward and wanting to tell the story, whatever it might be. And you know what? I had a wonderful staff of 15 folks. We built, we successfully built a machine in 11 months, with success being defined as making a profit. We made a profit in the 11th month of doing business. Unfortunately, that 11th month was the last month that I published the magazine in the worst business decision I have ever made in my life. I won't talk about it now, but we can talk about it privately. It was the worst business decision I ever made in my life. Okay. There was a graphic about a breakdown, and I wanted to comment on a few of these things because they were important and they have to be a part of your mentality, a part of your thinking. Certainly, the folks that they interviewed, this was the results of what they found in the interviews. Finding new customers was either a somewhat or a very challenging concern for 72% of the folks that were interviewed. And I believe they interviewed 800 some folks. It doesn't say up there. I believe they interviewed 800 some folks for this particular study. Keeping existing customers. A business is about finding new customers and keeping those customers. Actually, it's more important to keep the customer than it is to find the customer. You can't keep them till you find them, but it's more important to keep them as a customer. And they're out there. There's a lot of folks out there, but it's establishing the relationship with your customer so they stay with you. And actually, that's one of the lead questions that I have on the generator. Do you factor lifetime value into your marketing and sales strategy? Too many folks do not think about lifetime value. They only think about making that quick sale. They need to make that quick sale. The business needs to make that quick sale. The cash flow of the business needs that quick sale. But we must take time to think about the lifetime value of that customer, because you actually could spend more time trying to cultivate a customer relationship when the lifetime value is higher than one who here today, gone tomorrow. With that, it's got some cash flow. It helps you on cash flow, but it certainly doesn't help the overall business. And think about the time that you put into that particular customer. Funds to grow the business. A lot of folks are concerned with that. Over half the folks. Um, I've only looked outside uh, of my business um, once. That was back in '78 when I had the magazine. I went to a bank and in a very simple 1.5 hour presentation, 5 pages in 24 hours. The banker loaned me $10,000, and he got his money back and with the interest in 11 months. I took the profit and paid him off. Wanted to keep that relationship good. So it's important to discuss it, to know where funds are available, and we absolutely have some creative ideas about funding. Absolutely, they're new. I've been talking to some folks, and I think it's time for redefinition of some of the ways that we look at things, and we need to look creatively to resources that maybe weren't there before the COVID-19, and the fact that they're there now. Let's go find them and make it happen. Funds to start the business, laws, policies, and regulations. Um, well, thank goodness for the Kauffman Foundation and my friend Barbara Weltman, who that's part of what they do is exactly that. They publish information about that, and so I've got good sources. I can't spend all the time on that stuff, but I know where my friends are. Call up and ask the question or video chat. Today's world, we video chat. Networks and conversations, always important. Now we're falling below half the folks start from here down. Technology. Entrepreneurs face challenges related to finding and keeping customers. Yes. Technology. Oh my goodness. I find that number very low. Uh, Technology is the answer. It's just how do you apply it to your business, to your mindset, to your lifestyle to make it work for you. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't matter how good the technology is. It has to be work for you, and that's I can really speak to that with the setup that I have, but it's reflective of my lifestyle and how I do things, how I approach things, how I think about things, and you need to go through that same process for you. But at the root is technology. There's no question that technology has allowed us to streamline and be more efficient in the things that we do. No question about that. And efficiency for your business life, for your personal life, is a great thing. It's finding efficiencies, time efficiencies, how to make things work better than the way they do. Time to devote to the business. They were concerned only 30% said that was somewhat. They didn't even go to very small, very challenging. 31% total either said it was somewhat challenging or very challenging. My goodness. Well, to take a look at that, Michael Gerber said 30 years ago, when he started talking about the E-myth, the entrepreneurial myth, that it's most important to work not in your business, but on your business. The visionary needs to work on the business, create the vision, create the mission, create the leadership, be a good listener, listen to what the folks are saying, and be as good a facilitator as you possibly can to make things happen. But it starts with the listening. That's how things. That's where collaboration is. We listen to what the other individual has to say, and we collaborate because it makes sense for us to be working together. Very important to business. Location, region, or geography. this is going to be a learning experience for me, because for the last 13 years, I've been in cyberspace, and where I was physically located uh, didn't make any difference. Uh, for the most part, didn't make any difference. Uh, and now I would hope to, in 2021, personally visit as many small business communities in the country, um, and see what's going on, and assist folks in making the marketing and sales decisions that they need to make on their business. And the relationship, though, starts online. It's an online beginning. It creates efficiency, creates a lot of efficiencies. Okay, here's one that really mind boggled me: mentors who can provide guidance. Only 28% of those. Maybe that meant that they found the mentors. I hope that meant they found mentors, and not they don't think mentors are important. Uh, One of the things I committed to in the Kauffman Foundation uh, entrepreneurship pledge is mentoring. It says I must mentor one person, but uh, the number is thousands. uh, Social support, I'm not so sure what that means. And inclusion, I'm going to have to pursue that a little bit farther, because there are 24, 25 synonyms for inclusion. I would have to see how it's appropriate. I think I might know how it's appropriate for this report, but I want to double check on that. Um, you know what? Oh, skilled employees. That's the only mention of employees that I saw. Only 36% said that it was somewhat challenging or very challenging for their business, just 36%. There's a lot of folks that need to work right now. There's a lot of skilled folks that need to work right now. And the new American business plan is it's going to take a little bit different approach than it has in the past. In the new plan that we need to work on, employees are going to be empowered. Let employees make decisions at whatever level they are in the company. Empower the employees. Your business will be a lot better if you do empower employees. Not enough of that is going on, but I believe it's got to be part of the business model going forward. And then one last comment, and I've gone over my time. They had themes: finding new customers and keeping existing customers. Then they created a graphic, and they called them themes, and illustrative quotes about those themes. I guess the only thing I'm going to say about that I've already said. They use the word advertising is being used. I recommend you take the word out of your vocabulary and out of your entrepreneurial mindset, and think more of marketing, sales, brand building, brand development. Um, the days of advertising, they've gone. And if you look it up, by definition, we're advertising, but the way that it has been used as a part of a business model has changed. Uh, well, the first in the 70s, I was in the publishing business for virtually all the 70s, and advertising was, I was going to folks who were advertising and convincing them that advertising in my publication was the best decision they could make that day. So advertising was very important, but today the mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset, has to change more in thinking about uh, branding and building the brand, developing the brand, and how that impacts your marketing sales. Okay, that's going to be it for today. I thank my Facebook Live audience. I thank if you're watching this video now, this video will be available. I don't know where you're watching it. Let me know, but it will be posted in LinkedIn, in Facebook, on my website, smallbizdavid.com, and on my YouTube channel. Perhaps that's where you're watching right now. My name is David, and in the words of my old friend Jaime Williams, I'll see you the next time, which may very well be the best time. See you then.